Good morning, all of you. We'll take some problems related to conservation of angular momentum and angular impulse related, and some rolling motion questions. That one. Why the number of strength is very less? No, any reason? Any other exams? Anybody writing? Anything such like that?
Exams are there, sir, but in all the classes, strength is less only, sir.
Which exams you have?
On 30th, we have KVPY, sir. In this week, we don't have any exam, sir. Next week, we have
Which exam?
KVPY.
Mm. Oh, KVP next week is there, no? Then, okay, because of that. Yeah, fine. Okay, we'll take the some numericals. Okay, I do have a particle. So now it is injured about 0.2. That there's a disk, sorry, uniform circular disk. It is injured about 0.2. An impulse is applied. An impulse P is applied. Impulse P or J, anything you can take it, that one. I'll make it J so that will be easier. P will take some other thing, no? Okay, what is this concept? To what it is related? You go back to the center of percussion. I think I made a topic like this, and center of percussion is something we have discussed. So what is the center of percussion means? If you take any rigid body, let it be suspended here. Now, at what point I should apply impulse? At what point I should apply impulse so that there won't be impulsive reaction at the inch. This is something very important for machines. I think in machines, we do have many moving parts, no, where they come in contact with each other. And if you look at the parts, they'll be suspended about one point. And if there is an impulse about the inch, then any problem will occur. I think definitely what happened, where it is injured, that particular part, what happened, will get damaged very easily. So therefore, how I should apply an impulse? I should apply impulse at such a point such that impulsive reaction at the inch should be zero. So that particular distance is called as center of percussion. The distance from the point of suspension to a point where impulse is applied. So that impulsive reaction will be zero. It's called as center of percussion. Center of gravity is different. Center of mass different. Center of percussion. For rod, we have discussed. I do remember in class we have discussed. Now I brought a circular disc. Now I'll apply impulse such that no impulsive reaction should be there. I'll strictly write it. Getting the idea, no? So what is the basic necessity condition here? Yeah, R by 2 will be answer. Fine, yeah, good. Now what all we apply impulse, let the center of mass move with a velocity v. and let it have only rotative motion about 0.2. Then let me apply conservation of angular momentum. Here J into H plus R or LOZI equal to LOZF. From that, it should be J into H plus R should be equal to IOZ into omega. MR square by 2 MR square. Okay, there's a value of omega. We'll take this omega to be keep it in hand. Further, what will happen? What all we apply impulse? No, only the center of mass must be in motion. So this J is equal to MV. I'll write it. What is V? As it is having only rotatory motion. Then what is the impulse I should discuss with respect to center of mass? Because no impulsive reaction will come. If you apply at any other point, impulsive reaction will come. In that case, J minus JR should be equal to MV. Since there's no impulsive reaction, so J should be equal to MV. Are you able to understand? Please try to learn the idea. If you apply some other way, an impulsive reaction will come here. The velocity of center of mass like this. So the equation will come like this. When impulsive reaction is 0, then what happens? J equal to MV will come. That's what happened here. So what is V equal to? R omega. Okay, let me substitute this equation 1. Put 2 in 1. Omega equal to J by MR. Anybody value H?
R by 2.
R by 2. Okay, now you learned it. So what I suggest is like circular disc. Let it be semicircular plate. Nothing wrong. Try to work out all this. Different diagrams I'll give. So there's a equilateral triangle. Okay, try this. So there's a semicircular plate. Semicircular. You do get so many cases here. So try to. All they will lie on smooth horizontal surface. So try to think once. You'll be on safer sides. In exam, you'll be in better position. What we did for rod, now I brought for circular disc, now semicircular plate, triangular plate, what all you know, square plate. So many objects are there. No, try to understand. What you do for rod, it should be for other structures. We don't have question till now on center of percussion in JE Advanced. You check it. So all possibility of asking. So if they ask, and you know, you'll be on safer side. advantage for you. And straight away you can, within 2 minutes you can end up. No need to think much further. Read the question now. I'll construct the diagram. You meanwhile you try it. So there's a rod. So they'll collide. I'll move a little bit here. I'm helping you with the diagram. At least now you should get into they'll collide. What is the maximum angle subtended? From my side, I'm helping you this much. Initially, what is the state of this rod? This at rest. Okay, get into the concept now. Now, at least looking at the diagram, analyze. Find the maximum angle turned by the two rod system after collision. The effect of G will be there here. First, shall we get the angular velocity of the rod just after impact? Just after impact, it will have angular velocity. We'll try to get that angular velocity. For that, we should know the moment of inertia about O. IOZ is needed. So just after impact, the rod will become L-shaped. L-shaped, so we'll find out moment of inertia. So this will be looking at the second diagram. IO should be equal to M length is L, L square by 3. ML square by 2L plus M into, what is the distance will be? L by 2. This will be L by 2, no? And this is L. Let this be R. ML square by 2L into MR square. ml square by 3, ml square by 12. M into r square will be L square by L by 2 whole square. How much will get it? L square by 4, 4, 3, 12. Okay, yeah. Check it once. I think, yeah, this will be. Now we'll apply conservation of angular momentum about LOZI, LOF, initial angular momentum, MBL, that of the moving rod, about 0.2. What is the angular momentum? But sir, it's not a particle. It's not a particle, it's a rigid body, no? So again apply, is there any rotating motion? There's no rotating motion for the rod. So therefore, what will happen is only translative motion. So for translative motion, what will happen? Mass into velocity of center of mass into that perpendicular distance. That is sufficient. We did most of the problems where this was a particle, colliding particle was a particle. Now I brought a rigid body. This is a rod itself. How to write conservation of angular momentum? The same thing. LZ is equal to angular momentum due to rotating motion plus angular momentum due to rotating motion about center of mass of a rigid body plus angular momentum due to translative motion of center of mass. There's no rotating motion, only due to translative motion of center of mass. That is what MBL. Able to understand this? Finally, it will become I O omega. Three V by 5L. Let me take this equation 1. What was our question? Our question is to get this angle, no? We have to get this angle with vertical. How much of angle it will make it? This was our question. So this angle is what we have to find out. Okay, for that, let me get into the center of mass. Where the center of mass of system will be? This is M, this is M. So it should be 3L by 4 and L by 4 from here. So center of mass of system, the star mark, I'll put it here. So this should be at a distance of, put it here. So what is this length will be? And what is this length? Will be L by 4. Okay, so the distance OC will be the, we'll remove this L. It will confuse us a lot. So what is OC should be equal to OC is, what is C? C is a center of mass of system. System means of that of two rods. So OC is equal to root 10 9 9 10 10 4 will come, no? Yeah. So there's a distance OC is equal to this much here. Now what will happen to the, we have to apply conservation of mechanical energy, you know, the rise in the initial rotational kinetic energy of the system, that should be equal to increase in gravitational potential of system. What do you mean by gravitational potential here? How much center of mass has rise? Initially center of mass is here. Initially center of mass is here. So center of mass, what happen, will get shifted. So where the center of mass, now center of mass of system will come somewhere here. Okay, then rise in gravitational potential of center of mass is what needed for us. So this will, as it is, it will continue. So center of mass, what happened, will come somewhere here. It should rise. So let me indicate here. No, I think this will be better idea. Center of mass, I'll show by. This is one reference line which we are going to draw. What can be this distance? It will be still 3L by 4 only. So if you are, will indicate it as point P. This is A, will write it. This is what our center of mass, no? OC. Already we know OC. All together, we should calculate this angle. The total sum of these two angles is what is asking. Find the maximum angle turned by the two rod system after collision. So we know this angle. Am I right? We know this angle. There's no problem. What about this angle? How to calculate? So what I do is, like, I will, rather than this portion, rather than going for this height, let me take this as reference. Initially, I know center of mass of system is at 3L by 4. Finally, what happened? Let it be at H. So I'll take this is H equal to 0. Reference point to measure gravity. Okay, I'll take this as a reference. So let's get into the conservation of mechanical energy. So initial rotational kinetic energy plus gravitational potential energy should be equal to final gravitational potential energy of I naught omega square look at that negative signs. They are very important. Not needed. Okay, anyway, it's visible, no? Negative signs, why? Because I defined H equal to 0, this one. Do we know I naught? Yes. Do we know omega? So I'll get directly H. If I know H, I know OC. Can I calculate this angle? Okay, no, can I calculate this angle theta 1? As I know OC and H, I'll get this one. Then after that, I know theta 2. Then theta 1 plus theta 2 will be our angle. So this should be half into
Sir, why did you take root?
omega square, no? Oh, wait, yeah. Okay, no.
No, okay, sir.
Half into I naught is how much? 5 ml square by 3. Omega square will be, we have to get the value of H, no? G will not get eliminated. Huh? G will be there. Anybody value this? G will be there. Let me simplify. Oh. Okay, here 3 will be there. 325.
3L by 4 minus 3V square by 20G.
15GL minus 3V square by 20G.
3L by 4 minus 3V square by 20G. Yeah.
3L by 4.
Correct, no? 3L by 4.
Yes.
This is the value of H. Okay, now what happened? I got the H. I can bring the cos theta. Cos theta 1 equal to H by OC. Okay, what is OC? Already we have done. What is H? We have calculated from here. I'll get this one. What is cos theta 2? Cos theta 2 will be, so our total angle will be theta 1 plus theta 2, maximum angle turned by the two rod system. Okay, of all, I feel okay. That's a mathematics, no problem. This is very important, conservation of angular momentum. The rod is having only translatory motion for a rigid body or a particle, let it be. If it's having any rotatory motion, include that. About its center of mass, it's having any angular velocity, bring that also here. I will scroll down. All of you working that I'm posting daily one paper, no? Yesterday's paper little bit lengthy. And the composition of paper itself was very lengthy. Like a
Integration was more.
That one and all. So prior to that, I think there's more advanced oriented. Just I gave like that only. But my exam day before yesterday, what we have given, no, the exactly mains level. Today I'll not give because tomorrow for exam you have to revise, no? Okay, recollect that. From Monday again I'll start it. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. In a week, 4 days we'll give till that arrives main syllabus. Just only try to the one which you know, you live it. The one which you don't know, okay, try to practice. I think rather than solving numericals, I want you to identify numericals which are easy, which are medium, which are difficult. Means the moment you see, it's not an exam. Examination skills you can learn. First, identify which are all easy, medium, difficult. Don't try to solve paper. That's what I suggest. Try to, omni or easy questions are there, omni medium are there, omni difficult are there. Then if you are able to really identify difficulty, it will take more time. Selection of questions, very important, I feel. Separate them. So try to, again in easy, which all you are able to solve, which you are unable to solve. The one which are unable to solve, what is the reason, formula, or the idea itself is not there. Like that, first 10-15 minutes, try to analyze in this area only. Then what happened? You the one which you like a don't know new question, then take them and solve it. The known questions, leave it because already you know it. No, if you are very confident that this question, if you apply this much, you'll get answer, leave it. So my intention is like this question will come in final exam. That is not my intention. My intention is only students, how they categorize, how they select. Especially you have numerical ability, 10 questions will be there. The first 5 easy is what you have to pick up. From next week onwards, I'll give 10 numericals. In that I'll keep tough, few will be easy. So that the easy one, how you pick up, is matters a lot. Single option, numerical. I think in the numerical, the easy questions is something very essential. That will determine the rank. The one with less calculations, easy questions. I think that you have to develop now. At any cost, you have to develop for a better rank. In single options, there's no alternative. You should solve all 20. But if you can categorize, you'll be better. It's not that doing question number 1, 2, 3, 4 in order. That you can start with the 10th, you can start with 15th question. Every day have a different approach. So because see, when you write weekend exam, no, you don't have this much of liberty to do experiment. Why I'm posting is so that students will bring different methods to solve identifying easy question. This was my intention. So not like something to supply good questions. I'm very sure that another 30 papers I'm going to supply it. None of the question of 30 papers will come in final exam. Okay, my purpose is not to reflect the questions what I give in paper in the final exam. My purpose is to make you categorize the questions, develop examination skills. Please, your attitude should be of that kind. Not that these questions will come in final exam. I can give guarantee from my side, these questions will not appear in final exam. Oh, that one. So I have that clarity, then, okay, put effort. Different concepts, I'll be reflecting it. That's a purpose. But as it is, this question will not come. So somebody yesterday sent message, sir, if you, what all question papers, if you send, if I can practice them, I'll go to the exam sufficient. See, you must know first all the concepts, all the theory, then you proceed. So don't target that these questions will come in exam. It's a wrong approach. To make you happy, I may say like that, but in the end, I'll be the stupid teacher if I say like that. Try to be independent. Whatever question paper, let it come, I'll manage. I have thinking ability and I have skills. I'm having good mathematical skills. I know how to categorize questions. Let's develop, no? We have a time, 1 month is there. First 10 days, it may trouble you, but once you get that ability, finish over. By the time grand test come, you'll be in far better position, no? Okay, let's get into question. This is a very beautiful question. Second part is really very interesting one. First part, okay, somehow we can manage. Yeah. I have a string. Half of the length, no? Yeah, it'll go to half of length. Here we have a particle. And initially the rod is of length keep it like this. So there's a length of the string is L. The rod is attached. There's a string. No, the moment you project with a velocity, the string will be taut. The tension will act. This tension will accelerate center of mass and also will set up a torque. What all equations, possible equations, will write it. T is equal to MAC, T into L should be equal to any other forces that will be acting. So we'll point A with respect to point A.
Pseudo force.
Pseudo force, because we are now with respect to point A, it will try to move the path like this. At that instant for our understanding purpose here. So there's a curved path. So what is this? There's a path. So pseudo force is what you are going to apply it. What is the acceleration of point A will be vertically down. So therefore the pseudo force will be in this direction. Then what is the motion? This will be what is the acceleration of point A? Acceleration of point A should be equal to AC plus L by 2 or L alpha C. So he's asking to get the value of AC. We know mv naught square. Solving this, we'll get the equation for acceleration of point A.
V square by 5L.
V square by 5L.
Acceleration of the center of rod.
Yeah. AC, I'll write it. This will be our answer. Now, part B. Let's see that how you think on it. At that instant only, we are discussing this problem. The particle strikes the center of the rod and sticks to it. Calculate the angular speed of the rod after this event. So what is the motion of this? The particle will be moving. This will move like this here. And what is the state of this? This will have rotatory motion also. The rod will have rotatory as well as translatory. And this particular particle will move in some not circular path. Don't say circular path, curved path. So the length of the string is L, no? So it will go and strike here. It has to strike. How to calculate that angular velocity is asking. Where the center of mass of system will be somewhere here. In what direction center of mass will have velocity? Center of mass, no? VCM, I'll write it. This was at instantaneous rest. This was at rest. This was in motion. So VCM should be equal to how much? What is VCM? The moment you project, the center of mass will have. Okay, let's do one thing. Tension is there. What is the net force on system along x-axis? Even when this particle makes some angle, then also net force on the system will be zero, no? I'm not sure whether will it be the diagram. So just for our understanding purpose, I'm bringing it. So this will be the particle. It will be having some velocity. How the rod what happened? In fact, due to acceleration, so it will try to move. So how the tension? So T dash. Just for our understanding purpose, and the center of mass will continue its uniform velocity motion. What is the net force on system along x or along y axis? Will be zero, no? So center of mass will continue. So can we do this in ground frame, the motion of the rod and the particle? Very difficult. Huh? So let me do this in the center of mass frame. Because the center of mass, the net force on system along x, along y axis will be zero. In center of mass frame, how do this rod will appear moving? Towards left. And this will be moving with a velocity v0 by 2. So initial, and it will finally go and collide. So in C frame, let's discuss the problem. Rod position will not be like this. Some. I think compared to this, I even changed the position also. It will come here and it will be rotating, no? Let it be this one. So let this angular velocity be omega. Where the center of mass of system will come now will be here, no? So I'll apply conservation of angular momentum about center of mass, not about center of the rod, about center of mass. Initial angular momentum should be equal to final angular momentum. Finally, this will be moving. It will collide. What is the direction of this? So we'll combine. This will have some velocity. I'm not bothered. The combined rod plus particle will have velocity somewhere in this direction. Let's not bother. Okay, now this was the center of mass of system. No? Now when the particle comes and collides, then where the center of mass of system will be? The center of the rod itself. So I'll apply conservation of angular momentum about center of mass. LCI. First we'll calculate the velocity of rod with respect to center of mass. Should be equal to VR minus VC. 0. Then velocity of particle. Let me call this particle. Velocity of particle with respect to center of mass. Cm, I'll write it. Or this is some O will make it a symbol. It's disturbing a lot. We'll make it O. I'll change it so that it'll be easy for us. We'll not get confused. Velocity of center of mass. This is a C. Now this will become C. I think if you can think this much, problem is over. So velocity of point P with respect to center of mass. This should be equal to V naught minus VC. Now let me get into the calculation part. Applying conservation of angular momentum about center of mass of system C. LCI equal to LCF. So what is a M VPC L by 2? That of the rod M VOC VRC. That of the rod, no? VRC L by 2. Both are in what sense? Anti-clockwise. This should be equal to finally IO or IC. Let me write it. IC omega. What is the sense of that? Should be the initial. So M. Already sign I had taken care. So don't substitute again the sign. Let me put mod this one. Particle. This is a rod, no? Yeah. So this will be MV naught by 2 L by 2. Now what shall I write? IC.
But square by 3.
Two M L square by 12. No.
By 2, sir. Mass will not rotate.
Mass will not rotate, no? Only the rod will rotate. M. Yeah. Why VF? Okay, though the system is having some final velocity that will intersect axis of rotation, translated motion due to center of mass will intersect the axis of rotation. VF will intersect axis of rotation. So therefore that will not come into picture. Anybody have omega?
EV naught by 12.
In the ground frame, if it's very complicated, take help of center of mass concept. I think can be asked in exam, not a very difficult one. Read the question, let me have water. Are you able to, this one? Actually, we have here. There's a disc is there. Then I will take a rope.
Ring, he said.
What happened?
Ring.
Ring, it is. The rope will come. Yeah. Hope you are able to understand. This is something like this. There are two things are there, the ring as well as the rope. Ring little bit thick, I'll make it. Okay, fine. Some that there's a rope. This part is what? Rope. Here also we have rope, and there's a ring. This is actually the thing. The rope that is wound on the ring will have a mass m, and the ring is having a mass m. Now what will happen to this? This will start falling, no? This one. Okay, can you say anything about the rope? What is the rope? What is the state of the rope? Upper part of the rope. Will be taut. What about the lower part of the rope? Will also be because the rope is in the thin ring and the mass of the segment of the rope around the is also m. The rope is in fact is having a mass. Let's not this one. The mass of the rope that is wound on the ring will be m all the time. So definitely the rope is having a mass. So what can be tension? Where tension will be more, at up or down, at the upper part or lower part of the rope?
Upper part.
At the upper part tension will be more. So here T1 you write, here T2, then here 2 mg. Now you get into the discussion. T1, T2, here mg, and I can say T1 greater than T2. Anything will happen to the motion. That T1 minus T2, let it be resultant tension. And what should be the acceleration of point P? So this is the center of mass. See, I know few things. I'm taking help of this one. So what is this? It will be like this, no? The string will be wound. The other part will come. So this is this part. I'll do one thing. We can, the upper part of the rope, I'll show by some other color so that it will be easy for you what we are discussing. Just for our convenient purpose. Now, look at this one. So there's a point P and let this be Q. What should be the acceleration of point Q? Should be 0, no? It is connected to rigid one. So what should be the acceleration of point P? Should also be 0 along y-axis. Then T1 greater than T2. What is the tendency? So this will have rotational motion about center of mass, and center of mass will accelerate. I'm thinking like this. Let's see what all I can get it. So mg minus T1 minus T2, let it be T, the difference in tension. Two mg, it should be 2 mg. Mass of the rope, mass of the ring. So 2 mg minus 2m AC. Then T into R should be equal to IC into alpha C. What is IC? IC should be equal to 2 times of mr square. Okay, only this much. Why 2? Because both ring as well as, I will write it. How many unknowns are there? AC, alpha C, and T, tension. I need one more equation. I'll look at take help of point P. Acceleration of point P along y-axis should be equal to acceleration of Q should be 0. They lie on the string here. So what is the acceleration of point P, Py? This should be equal to AC minus R alpha C. Solve this, you'll get the required answer. Okay, this is the best approach what you can have. This is one ideal case we are discussing actually. The thing is here, moment of inertia will not be mr square because slightly some part of the rope, no? You can see in the diagram he has made clear. And there's some approximation will not be exact. Go for next question. Same thing. I'll tell it later on. just in rolling motion, I brought a spring force. We don't have any question where the spring force is in rolling motion. Let's have one question of that kind. Read it. No. Let me construct the diagram. Okay, this is the tube. Inside the tube, we'll take this one. Yeah. So the spring will be there. And I'll try to give the diagram so that you'll understand. So here is the particle. Mass of this rigid. Okay, this capital M, no, let me write M naught, I'll write it. So it'll be easy for me because small m, I may go wrong. M naught and radius R. This is a rough surface. Oh, you are able to understand the diagram. Now, what is this? This is a tube. This is a pipe. Uniform cylindrical pipe. Let's get into the. So it is the particle will be displaced towards left. So what is the state of the left spring? Will be compressed. So how the spring force will be towards right? This is elongated. So spring force will be like this. So this is compressed. So here the spring force on the disk in what direction? On the particle I have shown. Now let me show on the disk. This is the idea of the problem. The spring is compressed. So spring force. Are you able to notice here? No? I'll show by different colors so that now you can see clearly. Black. Okay, agree, no? This is compressed, this is elongated, so elongated spring force will be there. We are not bothered now the block. Let's bother about the pipe, and this particular edge is connected to the pipe. So what is the spring force acting on the pipe? Kx will be towards left, so that will accelerate the center of mass. That will accelerate the center of mass. So same thing, so some rough diagram. Okay, spring force will be Kx. Will be Kx. How the rolling friction should act here? Should act backward. Acceleration of center of mass. How the torque should be about center of mass. Will there be any torque due to spring force? No, spring force will intersect axis of rotation. There's an initial setup. Okay, now the moment I release it, what are the forces that will be acting? The weight of this also will act, no? I need AC, I'll show it here. That of the particle will be. This is very important. Okay, now look at we'll describe the motion of, translated motion of the pipe we'll discuss. Cylindrical pipe, tube and pipe are different here. So on you can say cylindrical pipe we'll discuss. What is the motion of that one? So shall I write 2kx minus f equal to ma on motion of m naught a should be equal to how much? 2kx minus f. This I call equation 1. Let's go for torque. Torque on system about C should be equal to mgx. X is the distance, this one. Okay, this I can't show all the things. So X I'm showing in the left diagram, and mg is what we have here. So mg into X, and okay, let me proceed like this. mg into X. F into R should be equal to m naught cylindrical pipe, m naught R square plus mx square into alpha c. Try to see this. This is very important. The torque about center of mass. The friction will set up small r into F anti-clockwise. This weight mg into X, this distance is X, plus m naught g will also act, the weight of the cylindrical pipe, m naught g. It will intersect axis of rotation. There'll be normal contact that will intersect axis of rotation. Spring force, they will intersect axis of rotation. And for pure rolling, AC should be equal to R alpha C.
The total system is rotating, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, sir.
can slide inside the tube. Okay, this fine. The total system is what will rotate now at that instant, will have tendency to rotate.
Why will it rotate about the center, sir?
Tell me, like, which point you want it to make to rotate?
About the center of mass.
No, it is, there is that tube is there, no? It's a light tube, and look at the bead. It's like a bead, that one, a bead of mass connected by two identical strings, each connected. Inside that tube, it's there. So you want to say about center of mass of system.
So, the system has natural tendency to rotate about the center of mass.
No, this is not natural tendency. No, there's a normal contact. Everyone is there. If it is set free to rotate center of mass, but here the ground will put some constraint here. No? It is not free to rotate. Okay.
Okay, sir.
You have to solve equation 1, 2, 3. I'll write down the answer. Check once. AC is equal to 2, what are K R square plus mg R into X.
A R square, sir. Dimensionally, it will not be.
It will be
2K
KR,
R
sir.
square plus M.
So in the numerator, it should be 2KR, sir.
2KR. Huh? Check once answer. Huh? If you try to solve it. So aggregation of, find aggregation of center.
KR, sir.
2KR only. Yeah, okay. Yeah. We have inclined plane. Then we have a triangular wedge. Not possible. And I'll draw it. This will be triangular wedge. We have done some problems related to this in laws of motion. Little bit he has brought it for in rotation mechanics, that the constant equation is what will take help of it. Okay, I'll get into the discussion now. Okay, the system is released from rest. Wait, M1G, M2G, let me have like this. So this will be the weight M1G. Normal contact N1, here N1. The weight of this will be M2G. This normal contact will be N2. Under N1, M2G sine theta. The force that will be M2G plus N1 sin theta will make this to accelerate A2. This acceleration will be with respect to ground. This N2 will act normal and will resolve this also. Okay, till here this one. And this is rough. It's telling this is rough. This surface is rough. So we'll apply a pseudo force. This will be M1 A2. Component of that will act towards right. Component of this force will act towards right. So this angle has to be theta. Then the frictional force will be. Then on the wedge, it will be this one. This is a rolling friction. It's a rolling friction. I think that these are the free body diagrams what we must have. And let the acceleration with respect to this is a center of mass. Let this be AR, I'll write it. And it will have alpha. Let me write everything relative. We'll write the equations of motion first. We'll see what we can do further. So along the incline, for the motion along the incline. Along the incline, the forces acting will be M2G plus, here only writing. M2G plus N1 sine theta should be equal to M2A2. I do have other forces. Wait. What are the forces that will be? I think I'm correct. Component of friction also should come. F cos theta, rolling friction. Then O will accelerate the hollow cylinder, uniform hollow cylinder. That should be equal to M1 E2 cos theta minus F should be equal to M1 AR. Then F into R should be equal to IC into alpha R. Let me write it. Then can I write AR equal to R alpha R, or we should not write? One more equation, N1 Will you agree with this part?
Yes, sir.
Because we are describing motion with respect to, you should not go for again acceleration of this point, this point. If you are doing with respect to ground frame, then acceleration of this point should be good acceleration this point. We are doing with respect to wedge frame. So this is very important. I think here is sometimes we may go wrong because we got habituated, for no slipping acceleration of this point should be equal to this. Directly we are describing the motion of cylinder with respect to wedge. So therefore this is justified, no. Of all this is very important. Somewhere we may go wrong. That's why this is very important. So all this will get answered. I'll write down, find the acceleration of wedge. This should be equal to I think doing in ground frame will be very lengthy. If you want to try it, very lengthy. Doing in wedge frame, the motion of cylinder in wedge frame will be much easier. I will scroll down. Very good problem. I brought it. We have a belt and we have a disc, that one. I will set the diagram. Meanwhile, you read the question. There's a belt. There's a belt. Read the question. Now, the belt will have constant velocity. The velocity of belt will remain constant. Who will maintain constant? The motor. Yeah, get into the now. Do first part. We will see the second part. Wheel of mass and radius are. So what do you mean by wheel? What shall I take? Moment of inertia.
He gave radius of gyration, sir.
Where is there? Last sentence. Radius of gyration of the wheel is k. Okay, then we'll write it as mk square. Moment of inertia will be mk square. Where all needed, I'll be using this data. Initially, this is release. This is at rest. What will happen? Very next moment, it will start moving. No? the part A of the problem is what I'm discussing, no? What will happen to the moment the wheel comes in can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, there's no power. With mobile data, we'll carry on we'll discuss a few problems. This one. No. I think we were here. Wheel can rotate. Wheel can rotate about C. Okay, there's the initial, the discussion of this one. So the friction which is acting, so what it does, the friction which is acting will apply torque, and because of torque, there'll be an angular acceleration. Center of mass cannot, it can accelerate. The center of mass can accelerate, but the friction will not permit. So therefore it will have angular acceleration. Due to angular acceleration, so what will happen to the wheel? It will acquire velocity. And finally, what will happen? At one point, when the velocity of this point equal to this, no more further friction will cease, will not act. For the next, what is the condition that will arise? In exam directly, you can write the answer. As a teacher, I have to explain. I'm telling all this story. So finally, what will happen? This will be rotating with an angular velocity omega. The velocity of this point should be equal to velocity of this point. Vp1 equal to Vp1 will be R omega. This is U. So what is omega? Equal to U by R. Now what is the kinetic energy of the disk? Will be R5 omega square. Kinetic energy. I'll write it here. Omega is what? Kinetic energy, Ke, write it. What is the thing? Now, what is the role of that motor? What that motor should do? How much of work it should do in the part A? Everything is visible. Check once. If the motor which is connected to belt, what happen? If the belt is set free, what happen? Because of friction, the velocity of that will decrease. No, it should maintain that velocity constant. So motor, how much of work should do? Will it be only equal to this or twice of this one? Because friction does positive work on this, it does negative work on this one, but the velocity of belt should be maintained constant. So how much of work I should do now here? Half of it or equal to this Ke or twice of this. A work has to be done till slipping occurs here now. Here no slipping occurs. No, let's get into one thing. The kinetic energy of the wheel got increased. From where this energy will come? and the velocity of the belt should be maintained constant. So therefore the motor should do work. How much of work it should do? Twice of this one. So what is the work done by motor? The work done by motor should be equal to increase the kinetic energy of the wheel and also to maintain the velocity of the belt. Okay, to increase kinetic energy we have, but what is the work done to increase, work done to maintain velocity of the belt constant? How much friction does work on the wheel? That much the friction has to do work on the belt. So therefore the action agent what happened should do work on the belt also, not only on the wheel. So therefore I'll put it in, no? Work done by action agent. Okay, we'll have here only. Work done by motor should be equal to increase in kinetic energy of wheel plus work done to maintain I will write on top. Work done to maintain speed of the belt constant. So this work done, there's a part A we are discussing, no? So this should be equal to how much here? KE, I'll write it. What about the other part? Should be also KE. So 2KE. Let's come for the second part of the problem. What is the second part of the problem says is like, the wheel is gently placed on the belt. And the moment I release, so this is will be released from rest. No, you can. It is released from rest. Now, what will happen to this? I think you know, we have done many problems of this kind. The velocity of belt will be constant. This is at T equals 0. What are the forces that will be acting? The friction will act here. The friction on the belt should be like this, and this friction will accelerate center of mass, and it will be alpha c, and because of that this will have velocity v1. Will write it all. Slipping occurs, no? Slipping occurs. Finally, no slipping. When the no slipping occurs, often the friction will become 0. Velocity of this point will become equal to velocity of this point, and it will have velocity v. This will be final omega. This is at time t equal to t, you write it. We are interested in this thing. So let's get into the kinematics. We'll later on will come into picture. So we'll accelerate the center of mass, the friction. Look at the now. F equal to ma1. Then F into R. There's a wheel, no? Okay, the wheel have. IC into alpha 1. As what is the friction? This is a sliding friction, not a rolling friction. So how much F should be equal to? Mu mg. No, not needed. Okay, if you will write it. So mu g by k square. Similarly, F equal to me. So this should be equal to mu then for no slipping at time t equal to t. What should be the condition? Vp1 should be equal to Vp2. I have, let me write it here. What is Vp1? Vp1 should be equal to V plus R omega. This should be equal to U. What is V equal to? V equal to A1t. What is omega? Omega equal to alpha t. It should be equal to U. So A1 is how much? Mu gt R alpha 1. What is alpha 1? Alpha 1 will be so T is equal to Ku by mu g k plus mu g r square. So there's a time at which the slipping ceases and the friction will vanish. No friction will act here. No slipping occurs means friction will vanish here. At this particular time, friction will vanish. So what is the work done by the friction on the disk?
Mu g k square in the denominator. Alpha 1 is mu g r by k square.
Alpha 1 is mu g r by k square.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, I just said everything. What is our question now? It's asking the kinetic energy, no? Finally, when the kinetic energy is acquired. So for that, we needed the time. Once you know the time, you can calculate that velocity. So now we'll get the velocity. V is equal to A1t. A1 is what? Mu g. T is what?
Sir, can we directly say F into ut will be the additional energy?
F into?
Ut. U is the velocity of the conveyor belt.
Okay, yeah.
No, sir.
Work done by what?
Done by the additional force that the motor provides
On wheel or on the belt?
on the belt.
On the belt.
On the wheel, no force will be acting, no, sir.
No, on the wheel, there's a frictional force acting. No, from where the
Frictional
kinetic energy?
Taking the additional energy, sir, that the motor delivers.
On the
Maintain
belt,
the conveyor belt velocity constant, it should provide a force equal to F
yeah,
on
that
the
one.
conveyor belt. So we can directly say F into ut.
F
Point
into
of application of the friction forces by distance of ut. So it will be F into ut.
that you can do that one because the velocity of the belt is constant. No, ut will become displacement. Friction force is acting. Opposite to that also can do it. Yeah, that's also convenient. Yeah. So this A1 is mu g k square u by so mu g get eliminated. So we'll get this as u k square Similarly, we'll calculate the omega. Mu g here also will get eliminated. So we'll get only u, I think, here. UR by k square plus k square plus r or r square. K square plus r square. Okay, this we know omega. So then kinetic energy of the wheel when no slipping occurs. We have to further simplify this one. Okay, we'll substitute and I'll move. Okay, this will be v square will be u k square omega will be ur by final equation u square k square 1 r square will come here. Smaller or capital R? Okay, capital R it is. Yeah. Anybody final equation? M u square should be there. K square will be there by 2. Check it. There's a kinetic energy, this one. So again, that what is work done by the motor on the system will be twice of this one. So what is this quantity? We should write it as work done by motor should be equal to 2 times of Ke. Okay, this will be your answer, second part. Or directly you can force into displacement F into ut and you know F equal to mu mg. From there also you can bring it, and we know T. Anyway, T has to be determined. Afterwards you can go for that also. What work done by the motor on the belt, the same work it has to do here. The total work done will be sum of these two. Okay, this 3 problems are there. If you want, you can try them. Okay, let me do this. This is something. Okay, we'll do one thing. Rotation mechanic, this one. Other things you can try this one. Objective question, only option part A can be asked as objective. Very simple. Actually, there's a rod. What happen? Center of mass will be ascending and it will be rotating. There's a B, end B, this end A. It will spin. It will spin about its center of mass, and also it will rotate. It will be like this. After some time, there's a end B, this end A. After it will be, I'll do one thing. I'll give the diagram. What actually this is. So initially we have like this. After some time, first we'll take the reference. There's a motion of center of mass. We'll go for small diagram. It'll be easy for me to. Yeah. Like that, it will keep on rotate. So there's an end A. So for further, we don't know how many turns it will make it. I'm just giving the description of the question. After this, one more last. What will happen to velocity of center of mass? Calculate during its course of flight, its angular velocity remained constant and the stick made one complete rotation. Oh, one complete rotation. Let me land back to its point of projection in horizontal position. Oh. These parts will not be there. Huh? One rotation himself is telling. No? So the next point will be E. This is B. I think, okay, now I'm able to. I think I explained everything through the diagram. So this is t equal to 0. After some time, one rotation is telling. So we know what is the time of flight, 2u by g, motion of center of mass. Calculate the angular velocity imparted to the stick. So how much of angular velocity that is given to the stick? What will happen to that angular velocity? It will not change. And with what speed we have projected, with the same speed, it will strike the ground back. Okay, got this one. So then what is omega equal to? How much of angular displacement t? No? Part A of the problem. Objective question. Any teacher will definitely interested to test this particular small things.
G pi by u.
Oh, pi is also there, no? Yeah. calculate the maximum height above the point of projection to which the NB of the stick rises. Right, at very next moment it will come somewhere here. And I'll just move this up. That also is asking. I think that we have to really put some effort. Five point he has given. Where L is the length of the stick. 5.5 L. Approx. Okay, he has given exact decimal place also. Maybe it is some integer somewhere. So this will make some angle theta. Try this. This will make some angle theta. Then we know omega, angular velocity, omega L by 2. We'll end up the class. Okay, thank you all of you.